Opening weekend for Captain Black Falcon America Man is in fact in the books, and well, I didn't watch it. Okay, this is not a review. Okay, don't get it twisted or anything like that. I just love to look at the numbers. I love to look at the fallout. I love to see the response of this stuff. And well, I've listened to a few reviews, and it sounds like an absolute disaster of epic proportions. It seems as though the general public has finally come around to that take as well, not worrying about checking this stuff out because they are most assuredly wasting their time and their money on all of these slop MCU products. And I posit this at the beginning with products like this, with Captain America Brave New World and then the Thunderbolts coming out in a couple of months. Is this going to end up having a knock-on effect? Not even to mention Disney's other output that's coming out prior to the summer release schedule. Is this going to end up negatively affecting the box office for the rest of the year, because you're front-loading a bunch of crap that is causing just record amounts of apathy in the general public? Is this just really going to create a barrier of entry from people that oh my god, I heard terrible things about Brave New World, and what even was the Thunderbolts, so why should I give them the benefit of the doubt for Fantastic Four? Oh cool, there might be a key jangle at the end of it for somebody that I'm not going to care about for another couple of years, and the last time that I went to Marvel movies, like, I was thoroughly disappointed. Is it just going to continue to build that up, or are they just also hoping that everybody has the memories of Goldfish, and then by the time that they get around to the stuff that Disney's really proud of, guys, oh, don't worry, we're really banking a lot on the Fantastic Four because, oh, we got rid of a bunch of those activist producers. There's not as many reshoots on this one. Oh, this one right here, this is going to be a return to peak Marvel. I kind of doubt it, especially because, like, in general, like, they still had the audacity to release this. They still think, okay, some of the internal scuttlebutt around the Thunderbolts is that's actually a good film. There's no way in hell. Like, we'll get into it here. Taking a look at some of the numbers, and I'm even thinking Disney knows that if they don't at least put up a strong front, they're going to be screwed throughout the rest of the year. But Captain America Brave New World earns the lowest CinemaScore in MCU history. That's wild. On par with Ang Lee's Hulk and Dark Phoenix in fan satisfaction. Now, I didn't watch Ang Lee's Hulk back in, when did that come out? 2003. And Dark Phoenix, what is that? That's the cap, no pun intended, to the second iteration of the Fox X-Men films. This started out so promising with, what was it, First Class, then Days of Future Past, then started to waver with Apocalypse, and then just, hit the dregs with Dark Phoenix. But sticking strictly to MCU canon, like we talked about it on Friday, like, this film debuted, what was it, 33rd out of 35 MCU films. It just the films specifically on Rotten Tomatoes, and the general sentiment from the reviews that I'm hearing, it's like, yeah, it's really bad. Okay, like, it's a 3 out of 10, but it's not the worst MCU film that's out there. Obviously, those titles still go to, like, if you have an eye for continuity in writing, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, The Marvels, like a lot of the stuff that was coming out in 22 and 23, a bunch of the stuff, even from, way back in the cut, like when they released Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like a lot of the stuff from 21 just ends up getting a pass because it was so long ago, which is so funny because, yeah, you have Brave New World, and then you have the Thunderbolts coming out, and they're basically, well, in the case of Cap 4 here, it's kind of a sequel, not the Civil War, not even the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but to 2008's Incredible Hulk, which is just wild to think about. It's like, why wouldn't you make that more known to the public? Because you're inserting all of these characters. It's like, I have no idea what are we doing here. Then, yeah, your follow-up movie is mostly containing a bunch of characters, that were established in your first Phase 4 movie in Black Widow, the first film that come out in 2021. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to set yourself up for failure so hard? But let's see why Brave New World is so bad and earning such a low cinema score. Captain America Brave New World has been awarded a B- cinema score, marking the lowest grade ever received by a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. This place is the film behind the Marvels and previously criticized the Eternals and Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. Those are those are three names that you're going to hear quite a lot when we start to get into the financial side of this. That means Brave New World is officially the weakest audience-rated MCU film to date. Now that's wild because nobody, even at the time that it was released 2 years ago, in fact, just about to the day, Quantumania, like nobody was really defending that film, okay? The Marvels, I mean, that thing was dead on arrival. Everybody knew it, and yeah, nobody defended that at all. But at least there are some people that are coming out saying that they at least like aspects of Brave New World. So that's why I'm kind of shocked. Like I knew it was going to be bad. Okay, it's obviously been redone and redone at this point. Even though, and I'm sure we're going to be talking about this more because I also want to see the next week drop off because all of the markers are here. This is going to be it's going to be a historically poor performer, setting the table for Thunderbolts, and then what's going to happen this summer? Who knows, man? But why is this one? Why is this one with people who are analyzing the writing, who are very consistent in their critiques of films in general? They're coming out saying it's not any worse or better than any other film in the MCU that has gone through this amount of reshoots, rewriting, rescripting, just Frankenstein movies slapped together. This one, it might be a little bit better than other things, but at the same time, it's not a hell of a lot worse, or at least noticeably worse than any other slop that's out there that all of these same critics that are saying this one's a failure, well, they would say that the other ones are so much better. It's really strange. It's really strange this time around. CinemaScore, a trusted market research firm that surveys moviegoers on opening night, provided an initial snapshot of audience satisfaction. The B- grade is a clear sign of disappointment, placing Brave New World on the same category as notable superhero misfires like 2003's The Hulk, Dark Phoenix, and Venom: The Last Dance, which I will imagine probably ends up making more money than Brave New World, which is hilarious because the Venom film, what did that have? Like a $100 million budget? It might have even been 80 or something. Like it was those numbers are huge, obviously, but it's reasonable in the greater landscape of superhero movies. Whereas, Disney's just lying directly in your face. Like they're pissing right in your eyes and telling you that it's rain. And while normally the review class would just go ahead and put up an umbrella and say that this is fine, it's great. Now they're starting to cause a fuss. Very strange. This low cinema score is even more glaring when compared to previous Captain America films. Yeah, there's been a lot of comparison to previous Captain America films, and it's not going to stop here, of course not. Winter Soldier and Civil War both received an A, and the first Avenger an A-. The Incredible Hulk, often considered one of the weaker MCU entries. Yeah. And the author really liked it, and that's probably I watched it a couple of times and I didn't mind it, but that was back in 2008 when it first released. Like I got the Blu-ray around here or something like that, but whatever. The Sharp Decline, yeah, and it got an A-. Yeah, no, it was fine. Like I just like Edward Norton anyways. He's the total nutcase and difficult to work with. A common theme with this movie as well, especially the stuff you hear about Harrison Ford. But perhaps maybe it is, okay, because it really has, made me ponder a few things. It's like, why this movie? Why is this the movie that everybody is turning on? Okay, is it superhero fatigue? Maybe the poor writing has just really hit the masses. It really does prove a point, what everybody was saying about Deadpool and the Wolverine being a simple aberration, and then when Marvel gets back to releasing their regular crap, nobody's going to care about it. You could see it with the TV shows that came out, and you're definitely going to see that again. Be interested to see, though, if people aren't getting what they want out of the first couple episodes of Daredevil, if that's going to track and if it's going to fall off. I think that'll be one to watch as well. Not the show, but at least, the ratings on that. I'll probably be able to passively consume that through reviews and stuff like that. Obviously, I want to keep up on the modern goings-on when it comes to this stuff as much as I possibly can. But in trying to connect the dots the best that I can in how I cover stuff, I mean, perhaps responses like this are going to end up resonating with studios, with Disney, with Marvel, and then with the overall industry as well, when people are just simply this apathetic, because there's no other way to explain this at this point in time. This is sheer apathy. You just need to stop. Because I'd imagine we're going to start hearing more leaks like this as it comes out, because the director, he's saying some funny stuff, especially hilarious, because we've known that this script has been trouble for a long time. We know that there's been reshoots. Hell, we knew that there were people that were supposed to be in this film that were not because they were removed through reshoots. And yeah, you have the director coming out and said, no, we just did 22 pickup shots. But we'll talk about that later this week, I would imagine, because there is so much crazy stuff going on. But to have somebody who was working on the project coming out and saying that, yeah, this was a tumultuous event, and that inside sources claim crew knew the film would be bad, details troubled production with reshoots, political turmoil, and a cranky Harrison Ford behind the scenes. Well, Harrison Ford is 80 and he's legendarily cranky. That's like saying I had a bad experience working with Chevy Chase. It's legendary at this point in time, bro. He's a curmudgeon of the highest order. What did you expect? Captain America Brave New World has finally hit theaters, but production was anything but smooth, plagued by endless reshoots, political controversy, and behind-the-scenes drama. The latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe arrives under a dark cloud of fan skepticism and industry fatigue. According to Vulture, the technical crew member who worked on the film's reshoots, no, there weren't any of those, shut up, noted that Captain America Brave New World production was a nightmare. The movie underwent 22 days of extensive reshoots. Okay. No, we just did a few pickup shots. Shut up! After catastrophic test screenings left Disney scrambling. Yeah, and there was also internal screenings that had the Red Hulk beat the brakes off of Falcon and him still end up coming out the victor at the end of it, and them going, yeah, we can't do that because that's the Hulk. And Sam Wilson's just a guy. It doesn't really much matter if he has the helmet of Ant-Man, the suit of Iron Man, the shield of Cap, and all of the Wakanda technology he can cram into a singular suit. It doesn't really much matter. All of that stuff, he could have the most powerful exoskeleton ever affixed to a superhero. That's not the way concussion works, okay? He can go ahead and dissipate as much energy as possible. He's still, if you shake an egg and that's fine, the shell is still intact. You can still break a yolk. That's what would happen if the Red Hulk punched the shield that Cap was still holding. Yeah, he would get obliterated, but apparently not. At least in the first round of shoots, and they were like, nah, man, we gotta redo this, so... Now Captain Falcon just beats Red Hulk with words. I wish I was joking, but I think everyone on the crew knew this was probably not going to be a good film. Some of the action sequences are not believable. Picture not relevant at all, no whatsoever. Of course not. We had a lot of frustrations on set, the source said, describing the confusion. After principal photography was finished, it was like, we're going to introduce the leader of the Serpent Society. It was on, and then it was off, and then it was on again. That's very expensive to do. Much of the tension behind the scenes reportedly stemmed from Harrison Ford. Yeah, because it's not the inexperienced or probably in over his head director or the revolving door in the writer's room. No. We'll just blame it on an 82-year-old white legend. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that because he's the safe target, right? Harrison Ford, who portrays Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, 82, who also, from what I hear, just phoned in his performance so much that you could basically see the postage stamp where his big bushy mustache should have been. Described as difficult to work with, living up to his reputation as a Hollywood curmudgeon. Yeah, exactly. He was exactly as advertised, and you guys are mad about that? I have no sympathy for you at all whatsoever. So yeah, you're going to hear stories like this coming out, but it's really going to have an interesting result at the box office, because as we left this last time, we were just simply looking at projections, and I said that I would just take a look as I would be driving past my local theater, and well, on Friday evening, right before... I think like an hour after the first evening showing was supposed to go on, I looked at the parking lot and it looked reasonably full. I didn't take a look at, the ticket charts or anything like that, or what they're supposed to look like throughout this week. I don't imagine they're going to be fantastic, but just because of the long weekend here, things are going to be delayed a little bit. So we've got projections so far, but taking a look at what was anticipated as opposed to the soft numbers that are being reported, and I call bullshit. Okay, Captain America Brave New World set to post a solid opening on the weekend. Our model predicting somewhere around $80 million over 3 days, and the film likely topping 90 over the long weekend. Keep a pin in that for a second while that's well short of the numbers posted during the heyday of the MCU. It's a big improvement over the $46 million earned by the Marvels in its opening weekend. Yeah, the last time that there was standard Marvel fare, but I find this very interesting, right? Because you got all of these these numbers, and I think the most appropriate comparison, because you can't go back to, this time, you can't go back to the President's Day, Family Day long weekend from 2024, because what was the film that launched then? Well, that was Madam Web. So of course you could go superhero movie for superhero movie, and yeah, Brave New World does look a lot more impressive compared to that one, but you gotta go back to 2023 when you had Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, and its opening weekend roundly regarded as being catastrophic, a full-on 5-alarm disaster. And well, its first weekend was $106 million. Oh shit. And its previews, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, 17.5. Oh shit. And what was the previews for Brave New World? 12 million on the same weekend. Yeah, within 3 days of one another, 2 years apart. What a fall off. Because and now we've got projections for the weekend. We got rough estimates, right? I find it funny. $100 million on the dot for the 4-day weekend, 88.5 for the 3-day weekend. Or I'm sorry, 87.8, okay. I was looking at it this morning, it was 88.5, and then they just, oh no, guys, oh, it's totally fine that we just, oh, look at that. Oh, it's way above expectations. Oh, wow, look at that. We got $100 million. No, that's definitely for sure 100%. It's like bullshit. It's absolute bullshit, bro. Because, hey, look at that. We can report it exceeded expectations, right? Like, I don't look at the actual number and don't pay attention to the second week drop off, because guess what? They'll be able to tout just like they did last year, okay? Just like they did at the tail end of last year, which is also another reason why I'm calling bullshit on all of these results, okay? Because we know the last time that Disney had the monopoly on the theaters, okay, and they were strong-arming the competition, you took a look at what Mufasa and Sonic 3 was doing at the end of last year, and if Sonic was allowed to take more screens because it was performing better, yeah, it would have ended up even, or rather with more of a lead over Mufasa than it ultimately ended up getting. It was outperforming it in every single metric, and Disney still had the audacity, because it had the international release day and date. They were saying, oh, it's the #1 movie in America, and it's like, no man, you got fact check on Twitter time and time again. But because there is no competition, okay, like what's the other film that's out there right now? Paddington in Peru, Heart Eyes, Dogman, like there's nothing that's out there. There is nothing that is out there right now, and there's very likely not to be anything before Disney has to pivot to promoting Snow White, which is going to be very interesting. More on that, I think tomorrow. I have that one earmarked for, because that's that just is another one that just warms my heart, because I'm looking forward to how Disney's going to go ahead and promote that absolute disaster. But I can see the spin right now. Once the financials come in after the box office helps them cook the books, because seen what they did at the tail end of last year, and because there's nothing going on right now and they want to promote themselves as having a somewhat healthy industry. Oh guys, hey, our first full year of just uninterrupted releases, we're totally back, everything's fine, guys. And hey, there's still anticipation, there's still excitement that's out there. And hell, hey man, Disney reports a $192.4 million global weekend for Brave New World, that points towards the figure being 4% better than the Winter Soldier. Guys, it's the third best performing Captain America film. Don't adjust for inflation. Don't look at actual tickets sold or anything like that, and then realize that, oh yeah, it's an absolute disaster. Yeah, ignore the fact that Civil War did far more business internationally. Don't mention that you're doing an apples to apples comparison with a film that came out 10 years ago, or Civil War that came out 7 years ago. Yeah, there's all the markers of this thing dropping off a cliff in the second week. Just looking at the results and looking at the box office throughout this week, with just open highway, with no competition at all. I don't know what comes out this week. Chances are there's not going to be anything for a very, very long time. So that's why I said at the beginning, is there a possibility that this ends up having a negative effect on the summer release schedule that Hollywood desperately needs to succeed? I'm not entirely sure. I think the Thunderbolts is definitely going to give us a partial answer to that question. And then taking a look at pre-sales for Fantastic Four and Superman as well, I think it's going to be an interesting year for Hollywood. I think all of the films are ultimately going to suck. I think of the 3 big tentpole films that are coming out in July specifically, you got another Jurassic World movie, Superman and Fantastic Four. I think there's a good... I think the one that has the best chance to succeed or the best chance to be a good film is probably Superman. I don't know, man, because there's a lot of baggage with those stupid Jurassic World movies, and not one of them has been good. And given that that's going to be, what, the 7th Jurassic film, and like one of them's good and the rest of them, well, actually one of them's great and the rest of them are trash, I don't have high expectations. And Fantastic Four, it's still from the same studio that brought you this B- underperforming dog shit. But hey guys, it only cost $180 million, right? And it just ended up magically making more than that on its opening weekend? Yeah, I fucking bet. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.